Hi, I'm Tim from the Marathon Mates. On this episode, we are talking to our marathon mate, Angela Keat. Angela is a teacher who has run many different endurance races, including Ironman and marathons. Recently, she completed her very first World Marathon Major in Sydney, and tonight she's going to be talking to us about how to get kids involved in running. In addition to teaching, raising her family, training, and racing all over the place, she is also a business partner of Phil Hungerford, who we had back on our show in episode 60. Both Angela and Phil have owned and hosted many races, including the Bribie Island Triathlon Series here in southeast Queensland. We are the only podcast in the world with 4 7-star World Marathon Major finishes. We have the experience and the knowledge and definitely know a thing or two about running around the world. This is the Flying Runner podcast. Are you ready to run? Let's go.
Welcome to the thrilling world of the Flying Runner, brought to you by the Marathon Mates.
Welcome back to the Flying Runner. I'm Tim from the Marathon Mates, and this is episode number 116. Tonight we are joined by our very good friend, our marathon mate, Angela Keat. Angela is a regular listener of our show and always has something positive to contribute towards our ideas for future episodes. Recently, she approached Tara and myself and said she'd really like to come on the show and talk to us about how to get kids into running and how we can encourage those kids to keep running into the future. So Tara and I and the rest of the crew here thought it was a good idea. So Angela is on the show tonight to tell us all about that. She is a teacher as well as a busy parent who does her best to get into her training in when required for all the triathlons, Ironmans and marathons that she races throughout every year. We had the privilege, Tara and I, earlier this year in Sydney recently, where we were running side by side with Angela for about 20 Ks or so as she completed her first ever World Marathon Major. Angela, welcome to the show tonight. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, guys.
Excellent. Welcome to the show. It's going to be fun. It's going to be chaotic. We're all going to chop and change things around the way, and Tara's had a wine or two, so it's going to be quite interesting.
Just me? I think you did too.
It would be remiss of me also not to introduce my co-hosts tonight. Tonight we've pulled together a collection of our marathon mates, and we have Tony, Lucia, and of course Tara joining us. Guys, how have you all been? And most importantly, how's your week been? I'll start with you, Tony.
Yeah, it's been good. It's sort of good. Very light in the training stakes. I went for a run Thursday morning and I've never had this before, but my hip just, I lost all power and strength in my right leg. So it just went. So almost took a tumble, almost took a dive. I thought the safe and wise thing was to walk back home. I was about 1 kilometre in. And I guess there's a little bit of karma there because I forgot to start my Garmin. So I didn't even know how far I'd travel. But anyway, so the hip's been playing up. So we got out today and went for a run on just over 6K. It seemed to be okay. It didn't give way on me like it did Thursday. Sharon did about the same. So what are we, 4 weeks today to Amsterdam? So we'll see how we go.
It's just a sign. It's telling you that you probably have done a lot on those legs, and it's probably time just to relax them and taper into Copenhagen.
Yeah, we go to Amsterdam.
I was just going to say, what points have you had tonight?
Yeah, it's just to let everyone know we are recording this on a Sunday night. Normally we record on a Monday.
Can I just ask one thing? Tara and Tim, you guys have your water bottles. Is it water in there or is it...
It's definitely water. It's definitely water. Lucia, how's your week been running wise?
It's been a bit quiet as well. I had to travel for the day to Bribie on Tuesday, so that took me out of my normal run club on Tuesday. Then I was too tired to go to strength on Wednesday. Managed to go to run club Thursday. So yeah, it hasn't been where I wanted to get back into, but I'm actually okay with that. The body's still feeling a little bit heavy, but I'm thinking that could be because I've literally done no strength training, I reckon, in about 6 weeks. So
that would
yeah,
probably
so so starting the new week, and I'm going to get back into the routine, which might come up in my tip later on.
Is that going to be a
Oh.
pre-week?
It could be classified as a pre-week, Tara. Yeah.
Sounds like a pre-week.
Yeah. And Tara, how's your running week been?
Yeah, good. What have I done this week? I've mainly walked all of this week. I've done a little bit of cycling, stationary cycling. Sorry, Ange. No road cycling for me. Stationary cycling, walking, and then I ran during the week on the treadmill, did some interval sessions, and walked park run yesterday because it was Bunyaville, and Bunyaville being as hilly as everything you can imagine. And then today I did a 12K jog, I guess you could call it, with a really good friend of mine, Lisa. And Tim hit out, I think, 18Ks while I did my 12. So that was the difference in our speed today.
Yeah, no, I actually did some midweek running this week. Tara obviously last week inspired me to do some midweek running, and didn't I let her know on Strava by tagging every midweek run with her name on it, just to prove I do really do them. Got a bit of midweek running in, and then today, I don't know, the body just got better and better and better as I ran. So maybe this is something you can take from me today, Tony, for Amsterdam. I got better and better. I ran out 9Ks. And I got to 9Ks in 55 minutes. So in theory, an even split would get me back home in 1 hour and 50 minutes. And I ended up coming home in 1 hour, 45 minutes. And pretty much every kilometre along the whole 18 kilometres just got quicker and quicker than the previous kilometre. So pretty happy with that today. And I felt pretty comfortable. I was a little bit tired towards the end, but got it all done. So really happy with that. So take some confidence. The legs still have muscle memory in them, Tony, and they'll still know what they need to do. So just rest it up and you'll get through it all.
Yeah, they didn't have muscle memory the day they gave out on me, but Tim. So, and once again, I've never had that happen before, where there was just nothing there, just the leg collapse. So so next week I'll aim to do about 20 and see how I go. But yeah, it's rest and probably some exercise, and just try and hold what I've got in the legs. So we'll see how we go.
And Angela, have you done much running this week?
Well, I did Bridge to Brisbane last Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Give us a recap of it, because we were asking for a recap. So give us a recap.
I had a great time. I haven't done it for forever. Georgina is my 12-year-old, and she's super keen to have a crack at a 10K. And so we said, oh, what the heck? Well, let's have a go. And it was really good. They had live bands, like this great band at the top of the bridge at the 1K mark. DJs at every K marker all the way along. Great vibe. And because it was 2 weeks post Sydney, I didn't really care how fast I went. I just had to get to the end. So no pressure. And just chill, have fun. And it's really nice to do something like that with no pressure on, and just go, I'm just going to jog along, see how I feel, and have some fun, and just enjoy it. I really enjoyed it.
And so I guess that, it's great to say about running with kids as well. So with what we're talking about tonight. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
She did beat me. She dropped me. That's okay. But then we went and did because it's Brisbane Festival at the moment. Mm-hmm. So all the lights, and so we decided on Sunday afternoon we'd back up and do a 10K along the river to go and see the lights along the Kangaroo Point Bridge, which is pretty special. And other than that, last week of term, lots of work stuff, a few runs during the week, but nothing major. Did 10K yesterday morning at Ferny Grove. And then I've been working up at the triathlon all weekend.
No, that will do it. That's more busier than us, I think, during the week. I guess the other thing, just to let our listeners know, is it is, as I said, Sunday night. It's Berlin Marathon time. The leaders are currently approaching 40 kilometres in the Berlin Marathon. So as we record this, we'll come up with some results tonight. But guys, thanks for that. Now it's that time of the week where we do talk about the news this week. Tony, what's been happening around the world this week?
Well, Tim, you know what I'm going to talk about because you've written it. But one of the good things, and, you know, once again, influencers have been all over this event like the plague. So the running channel have been there. Believe in the Run have been there. But it's the world champs in Tokyo. And it's been really exciting from my perspective for some of the Australian performances. So we have seen, it's been broadcast on prime time. So we've seen some really good numbers come through the broadcast for Australia. And it's been a great week for Australians because I believe we've got 3 bronze medals. We've also got Jess Hull in the final of the 800. She's not the only Aussie in the final too, I believe. So who knows what she can do. But let's just go through some of the highlights that I've seen. Faith is just amazing in the 1500, and you know, I've got to give it to Jess because Jess chased her, and I thought that she was going to leave it all out there, and if it meant coming first or fifth, I think that that was part of Jessica Hull's plan. So, but Faith really did set the scene in the 1500, and then she backed it up. And won silver in the women's 5,000 metre. Jess, as we've been talking, made the finals and won bronze. That lactic acid, you could feel it as she's coming into the final, 50 metres. And I think the whole of Australia just willed her across the line there. So I'm really hopeful she does well. She broke the Australian record in the 1,800 metre semi-final, which is amazing. So who knows what she's going to do tonight. But I think she'll go out with the mentality similar to what she did in the 1500 and just have the world's biggest crack, and we'll see where we go. Someone else who's done themselves really proud is Quat in the 200 meters, 17-year-old. And, he's had so much recognition from people just unbelieving that he's just 17-year-old and making the semi-finals in the 200 meters. Well done. Geordie Beamish from New Zealand sprinting down the straight to win the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. We've seen a little bit of carnage on the track during the World Champs as well. So a couple of old spikes to the face and whatnot. But Geordie Beamish from New Zealand, I wonder why we're following a New Zealander there, Tara.
It was just a spectacular finish.
And the next one, it was good to see the Africans upstaged in the 10,000 metres with Jimmy Greiser from France winning the 10,000 metres. Well done. And, of course, we've seen Beatrice Chebet come home. Who was second in that?
That was Faith.
Yeah, Faith was second. Yeah. So I think Beatrice also won the 10,000. So she knocked over... Oh, the name's gone. But anyway, so Beatrice Chebet from Kenya winning the gold in the women's 5,000 metres and I believe also the 10,000. So it's been really enjoyable. What have you guys taken from the World Champs?
Absolutely loved it. Even my sister, and for the regular listeners, know that my sister's not an active person, but she still claimed, well, she beat me at the 5K in Sydney, but we won't go there. Even she's enjoyed watching it. Even my mum. My mum was yelling for Jess. It was like, and then when Jess fell over, mum was in crisis mode. It's been really good. I love it. Yeah.
Ange?
I'm just trying to think about my favourite bit. I actually like some of the field ones. I loved watching in the heats Mackenzie with the javelin. Quick throw once, smash the field, instant qualifier, and same in the discus with Denny. Ugh, they're so good. And just them all going in the 100 meters and the 200. And I can't think. Tori Lewis. Tori,
Lewis,
breaking the national records and smashing the PBs. Like they're just, and it's stinking hot.
Yeah,
and they're just smashing it home.
Yeah, what I'm saying is there's a little bit of lack of dominance from some of the more dominant countries in the past. You're not seeing Jamaica dominate the sprints as much. Yeah, they're in the fields and they're in the finals, but they're not out there winning every event. You're not seeing the US winning every event. You're not seeing the Africans win every running event, long distance running event. So,
and was it Botswana?
Botswana
of the 400 who had 3 people in the final.
Yeah,
including first, third, and I can't remember what the other place was. It's nuts.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is a good split are now around the lesser dominant countries are starting to come through. You know, you're seeing different countries get into finals, whether it's the process of what they've got now. They've changed all the qualifying around a little bit in some of the races there or not. But, yeah, I like it. I like to see a little bit. And I think Australia's setting itself up for a really good Olympic Games in, 2 or 3 years' time. So in LA. So it's looking really good.
Yeah, we've certainly got some stars now and hopefully inspiring the stars of the future. Last week, of course, we spoke about quirky races and and this one's the one that I think all of our listeners are waiting with bated breath to hear about, and that's the Gernzi half marathon. Now, I had never even heard of the Gernzi half marathon before I read the show notes for today. So I am so glad Tim digs into this sort of stuff. But did you know that last week more than 700 runners completed the Gernzi half marathon despite strong winds and inclement weather? The course starts, I'm going to say, in the southwest of the island and follows a coastal route to St. Peter Port. The men's winner, Rick Weston, famous name, said the weather was a bit breezy, but not as bad as forecast, right? You only notice it when it's on your face, right? Women's winner was Yurik Maish, and she was expecting the weather to be horrendous. That's, they're really selling this race, aren't they? They expected the weather to be horrendous, but was really happy with the performance considering the conditions. She said she started out a bit too fast, but decided to stay with a group of runners to shield her from the wind. It was fine up to 20 kilometers. So the last kilometer was a bit tough, but I'm really happy with the time, so it's all good. Who's putting their hand up to do the Gernzi half marathon?
That sounds terrible.
My question is, what would the expo be like if there's only 700 runners? What kind of expo?
Don't know. I'm happy to do any run that involves a holiday, though.
Yeah, but I'd want one with good weather and a cocktail afterwards. That doesn't sound like a cocktail or any good weather, so no. Big no from me.
Yeah, I'm going to say no too, Tara. Obviously, Tim, this has caught your eye. Tell me why.
I was looking for news, and this was the first news article. No, it came up. I don't know. It's just one of those quirky little events, I guess. And I saw it and looked at it and said, yeah, it's definitely one we could report on and promote. I don't mind promoting lesser known events and different locations. That's what we're about, and that's where I'm at with it. So, just in breaking news, Sebastian Salway has just won the Berlin Marathon in 2 hours, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. He's about 2.5 minutes at least in front of second place. So the second place hasn't crossed the line yet. So well done to Sebastian Salway in a very quick time, but not a course record. I believe that still belongs to Eliud Kipchoge.
Yeah, and I heard that Marcel Hugh won the men's wheelchair event for the 10th time. So,
wow.
It's just dominance, and really setting the standard for others to follow. So, but that's the news, Tim, for the week.
Thanks, Tony. As I said earlier, tonight we're joined by Angela, who's here to talk about how to get kids into running. Now, having run next to Angela in Sydney for about 3 hours, I know she can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. If you think Tara can talk, Angela can talk again. So my job tonight, apart from asking a couple of questions, is also just to moderate you a little bit, Angela, and to stop this 1 hour podcast going into a 3, 4, maybe 5 hour podcast. So, so to kick things off, I'm going to ask the first question, and then we'll rotate between all of our co-hosts, if that's all right, Angela.
Sounds good.
All right. First question from me, Angela. How did you get into running and why?
I kind of got into running. I was a bit of a gym junkie, and my gym started like a run club, and they were like, "Oh, you'll need to do the 5K because you won't be strong enough. You're not a runner. You can't do the 10 or the 21." And I'm like a red rag to a bull sort of person. Anyone who tells me I can't do something, that's just like open invitation. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I went along to the run club and then secretly signed up for a half marathon. I rocked up to the run-in and said to Phil, right, I need to learn to run because I'm doing a half marathon in a couple of months' time at Gold Coast. And we ran the first night 7Ks. It was the longest I'd run before. And the rest is history.
Love it.
What's been what's been your favourite running event? So the team mentioned that you just run Sydney, but and that's awesome. But what's been your favourite running event and why?
Oh, I love anything that you sit there and you go, oh, this is new, this is interesting. I reckon I was going to say Dopey, but my other favorite would be Las Vegas. So I did the Las Vegas Marathon.
Is that the rock and roll?
The Rock and Roll Las Vegas Marathon. It's quirky. It's very only in Las Vegas. There's Elvis. There's as you run down the strip, because the year I did it, it was a dawn start, Star Spangled Banner, fireworks. Every 1,000 people, there was more fireworks. And every LED screen on every building down the strip in Las Vegas had the runners. You could see yourself running along on these huge screens. You could see, the Mirage volcano was going off, and it was phenomenal, like a very big experience, as I said, only in Vegas.
Ooh,
Great photos too.
That one may have to go on a list one day.
Any rock and roll marathon is they do it well.
Okay.
It's only a half marathon though now, isn't it, Ange?
I don't know. I haven't. Well, I've ticked that box. I don't know if it's only a half or if they still have. To be honest, the half probably would have been better than the full, because the half kind of just did down the strip and back the strip, and in the full, we got to the bottom to Fremont and then came back to Circus, and then we did a lap out into the desert. And then the last 10K, you're just chasing to the pyramid and to Mandalay, and it's just getting closer and closer, and you're just running in a straight line towards this elusive finish line. And then a little lap of the block before you get into the finish, a bit like Melbourne. But the spectacle is just cool.
Yeah, and Las Vegas is now just the half, the 5 and the 10. So
see, hopefully they bring it back.
Now, it was mentioned earlier that you do triathlons, Ironman, and obviously running races. What's your favourite discipline and why?
I like the long stuff. I like the marathon. I like the Ironman. My favourite discipline. I was a swimmer as a kid, all the way through. So swimming always comes pretty easy to me. Bike is always the thing I have to work hardest on, but it's also the thing you feel the most achievement from. But I do like the run because you can always find people. And you sort of, you find out people and you have a little walk and a little jog and you chat to them, and then you make lots of friends on the run course. So probably the run. I love Ironman. I've done 7, and everyone has been different, and everyone is hurt in different places. But just pushing yourself and achieving and getting through them.
Excellent. So, Ange, I know that we like to run together, and you call it yogging when we
Yogging.
run together, because I don't run fast. And we were very fortunate to run side by side with you in Sydney, and that was your very first World Major Marathon. What are your thoughts on running a World Major, the event, and do you want to do more majors around the world, I guess?
I love Sydney. This year,
wasn't it?
that was totally the company. This year hasn't been the easiest. I had a interesting injury when I delaminated my knee from the inside during Ironman last December, and so it's been a lot of recovery. And so Sydney was huge to get to the start line and to get to the finish line, and that was all that I was interested in. I wasn't worried about the time, so I just chilled and had a great time. Would I do another one of the other majors? Probably. My brother used to live in Boston, so that one has some interest. I know the course pretty well from being with him, but maybe Berlin. I think Berlin would be my number one.
All righty. Well, speaking of Berlin, we now have a second, third, and fourth, and up to like 15th place already. So second place is a Japanese runner today. Asaki Akira came second in 2:06, 4 minutes behind Sebastian Sawe. And in third place was Chimdesa Debeli from Ethiopia, who was about another 45 seconds behind second place. So pretty awesome win by Sebastian Sawe. Speaking of Berlin, sorry, Ange. The women are somewhere between 35 and 40 Ks at the moment. So we should have a female winner at the end of the broadcast. Now back to you, Angela. The topic tonight is all about how do we get kids excited about running. So firstly, how do you get a child excited enough to pick up the shoes and want to go for a run? And I think that's the important thing, is you want them to want to go for a run, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I've been coaching cross country for about 20 years. In my school where I work now, I'm head of cross country and have been so for most of the time, pretty much the whole time I've been there, so 19, 20 years. I have 60, 70 kids in my squad on a day when we're in season, aging between 8 years and 12 years. But I still connect back with the older kids too. They come back, they come and say, can I come and coach for you? Can I come and run with the little ones and keep them going? I really think that one of the biggest things is you got to make it fun. And you've got to make it you've got to use that peer factor. One of my big things, I organize the school cross countries and the district and the regionals. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I said, I'm going to overhaul the cross country carnival. And I've got all these inflatable things. And I set up zones around the cross country course, and we had like monkeys hanging from the trees, and we had unicorns and a beach party. And we ran through our beach volleyball court at school, and I hung inflatable dolphins, and we had signs that said, welcome to Tangalooma. And through a rainforest, and we've got a little area with some rocks and a bit of a stream. And I hid crocodiles, and it's like, welcome to the swamp. And I had Jaws music playing in the background. And I wrote them a little story, because for my preppies, it's really hard to remember. You go through this too. So it made them, like we're going on a bear hunt sort of thing. And they loved it. And now it's the biggest highlight of the year is the cross country carnival. What is she going to do this year? I've set myself up something that's a little bit hard to, keep coming up with new things. So yeah, I recycle them. I get new inflatables. I've got blob dogs. We have had the doghouse last year. So something that's got to be fun. They've got to think it, that they can do it, and actually that gets them rolling.
So what's the secret? So to keep them going, but I guess it sounds like that's an amazing race day experience that you've created. That's awesome. You get them started, you get them engaged, but what's the secret around motivating them to keep going? So
I use lots of different things. So some of the kids, we do like a passport thing. So we keep track of, how far they've actually achieved in their training. So it's like today, did you know today we ran 3 kilometers across the thing? Let's track that sort of thing. So then we go, oh, you've actually run like a little bit like Run Down Under. You run this far. So it's all about getting them, because you've got your intrinsic motivation and your extrinsic motivation. You want them to actually start to take on board and go, I really want to come. Cross country running's fun. Running track is fun. So you want them to sort of start to feel that they're achieving things. So having a way that they're keeping score is a great one. We get involved in here in Brisbane. There's a really fun cross-country club called Queensland Running, which I'm involved in, and they run every Saturday afternoon. We do lots of races. It's old school sport fun, laid back, barbecue, sausage sizzle, and they do little races across the afternoon from a 500-meter race, and you can do as many races as you want, and it's nominal fee for the whole afternoon. And they all come along, and it's that peer getting involved. Oh, are you coming this weekend? Oh, I'm coming this weekend. I wonder what they're going to have at the barbecue. Will they have Zupa Dupas? Yes, we always have Zupa Dupas. And for $1.50 sort of total. So it's that sort of thing. So them starting to get into that understanding of, we're all going to come and run. This is cool. We're going to a new place. And it's quite infectious. They bring each other along. But one of the big things is, because it's the kids running, not, we're going to run with mum and dad. Sometimes you see when the parents are like, I can't get my kid to do parkrun with me. They're not interested. And my child was not interested in doing parkrun with me. She was like, I'm just going to walk. I'm not thing. Now she kicks my butt. But when her friends started coming to do parkrun, then she wanted to run with them. You've got lots and lots of things, like here in Brisbane at Ashgrove, we have a kids park run, which is a 2K one, which is a great distance, but it's about the kids. It's not about mum and dad going, come on, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. That pressure of someone else putting the thing going, you've got to go, rather than them going, yeah, this is my pace. I'm going to get there. And then them going, I'm going to try and get faster, and I want to try and keep up in that space. That's a huge factor for them.
And you bring up a good point with the kids trying to run faster and their parents kind of pushing them along. Something that I've noticed, because I do a lot of my training in Centennial Park, and I often see parents running with their kids, and you see the kids slowing down, and then you see the parents turning around, kind of pushing them along, saying, come on, run faster. And that upsets me, because that's not the best way to keep kids in sport. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So my biggest, like at the end of the day, even though I coach for a school team and I like bling and I like them to win, don't get me wrong, I'm like one of the world's most competitive people. My school, our house team is exceptional. We win lots. I like it. We celebrate. But at the end of the day, what do I want from them? I want kids who are happy to be active. I want kids who are lifelong athletes. I want them to be healthy. And I want them to be going, I can do this for the rest of my life. And I want them to go, we can just go for a run. Even as much as going, like my daughter's going, well, can we do Bridge to Brisbane? I'd like to do the 10K. She doesn't see herself as a runner. She's a swimmer. But she's like, I'd like to have a crack at that. Can we do that? And it needs to come from them. And so trying to give them reasons to feel that motivation and to have that want and desire. Again, at school, we play when we play Red Rover as one of our cross-country warm-ups. It's fun. And I have named, we have 130 acres at school, and I pretty much have named every tree on the campus. And so you go, okay, that one is Bob, and that one's Jeff, and that's Big Mama, and that's the 3 sisters, and that's the 7 dwarfs, because there's 14 of them. And so I make little things, and I'm like, okay, so we're going around the thing, through the 3 sisters, up to the dwarfs. Don't let the monster jump out behind the tree, etc. And so that's what they do. And they think it's a game. And when they think it's a game, all those barriers sort of drop down, and they go, oh, this is fun. Oh, what day are we coming to training again? Oh, can we come tomorrow?
Now, you mentioned Red Rover. What's that?
Oh, what?
A cheer.
She didn't grow up in Queensland. They call it, what do they call it in New South
Right,
Wales?
open to can of worms.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's a game, and you have a kid in the center, and everyone else is on the other side, and they call them over, and then they've got to try and catch them, and then you can call something called bull rush, and everyone runs.
I was going to say, in New Zealand, we call it bull rush.
Yeah, so you can also call it, it's a little bit of a gang up sort of thing, because as you catch them, you get more kids in the middle. It makes it harder.
Okay.
Yeah, so we usually play it on a soccer field. Make them run, make them forget what make them realize that it's just fun.
Yeah, except when I was at school, it became a crash tackling course with teenage boys, and it ended up with broken bones and broken legs.
We also have a rule for that, and that is that I don't like to fill out paperwork. And that if I have to if they want to do something like that, they have to fill out the paperwork in advance, because I don't do injuries.
So, and I know personally, our kids, when they were little, they used to always come to parkrun with us, as you probably remember, and they did a lot of races. They were there with us when we did Dopey Challenge. Lucia was there when we did Dopey Challenge, so you guys probably remember each other from there. But as they grew up and got into their teenage years, they decided, I don't want to do any running anymore. And that's fine. We can't force them to do what they don't want to do, obviously. But Patrick obviously became more interested in it when he became probably 16 or so and decided to start doing half marathons. Do you think our influence as parents play a part in what they want to do, or do you think that is a complete decision that they make on their own? Because obviously our daughter Portia has no interest at all in running. She's 21, still no interest at all in running. And Patrick obviously has just run his first, well, not just, but 6 months ago, run his first marathon. So do you think as parents we play a part in that, or is that their own inbuilt wiring?
Absolutely. The role modeling, just like in any part, as again, with my education hat on, role modeling is essential. So if they see you being active and healthy and doing these things, they're going to go for it. They're going to, look for it. In our case, my brothers are both very active. One's run Boston Marathon, Chicago Marathon, and a few others. And my niece and nephews are very active. So my daughter sees it and is like, oh, yeah. She's also very heavily involved in sport, in swimming herself. And so she's looking for, she's just spent 2 days at a netball carnival. But it's like, initially for them, it was like, for her, where the real turning point of going, I'm going to run for myself, was that swim squad went on holidays for the Christmas period. And she and her swim friend said, let's go to Chermside Parkrun. So off they went to Parkrun, and they, as a group, they ran together. I think partly for us, I may give her some encouragement in that I can find her some fun places. Like we're running Parkrun in Singapore next week and in Tokyo the week after. So when we travel, we always do a parkrun, and we always go into a new and interesting place. She's had the opportunity to run in Hong Kong Disney, in the Run Disney events over there. So if you can put it out there and give them something that's like, oh, this could be fun, I think that helps them as well. But, just seeing every day me get up, put your shoes on, go out, it becomes that natural part of, that's just the way it is.
It's just a normality type of.
It's just a normality, and it's like, oh, can I come with you today? Can I come to the gym? Often in the holidays it was like, can I come to the gym with you today? So if you make it look like, but you've got to make exercise look fun too.
Yeah.
If you make it look like it's an ordeal, you make it look tough, they're not going to want to get on board. As I said, I also use with the older kids. So I've got a couple of 16 and 17-year-olds that I coached as 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds who come back and go, can we run with the juniors? Can we help them? Can we mentor them? And they're really keen to give back. And the younger kids just love that.
Yeah.
They love to have those older kids to look up to.
Excellent. At what stage of a child's development or a journey in running does it become important for them to get a coach or to join, whether it's a running club or they pop down and start doing little athletics? Is there a certain point, or do you see that with all of the kids, or are there only a select few that take those steps?
Most of my kids that I coach in the school team, I've got about half a dozen or so that are in the little athletics clubs. Most of those kids who are in the little athletics clubs are in there because they've got an interest across the board in the athletics thing. They're really interested in taking on some of the field events and getting better in those areas, or maybe sprinting. Look, having a coach is really, really, it gives you a lot of feedback. It gives you a lot of tips. It helps you to become more specifically focused. But saying that, like as I said, most of my sessions in cross-country season, I average between 30 and 40 kids. So the amount of feedback they're going to get from me on a one-on-one sort of basis is very minor. Whereas Phil, who we've met before, he coaches much smaller groups. And some of my kids actually move up in and go and join in his off-site squads. So he's got squads through the triathlon club. And so some of the 11, 12-year-olds, they'll go and start running with their triathlon squad to get more specific middle distance training. And I think that's probably the thing about a coach is that once you're starting to, if you want to be more competitive, that's where you need to start to go down that line. If you line it up to, say, swimming, if you go to district sport, regional sport, the kids who are making their way through the pathways, they belong to clubs. They have coaches. Athletics is pretty similar. You don't get many kids who move the way through the regional pathways who don't have some sort of tailored input. But if they're there for fun, to do park run, to do some cross country, they don't really need it. It's when they start to think, okay, I want to really work on my speed, or I really want to work on my distance. My coaching style has been very heavily influenced by Phil over the years as a mentor. And I'm quite strong on distances and not going too much distance. So sometimes you see kids like Georgina did 10K the other day at Bridge to Brisbane. She wouldn't do that in normal time. Yeah. So any training session would be a maximum of 5K because kids, growing bodies and all the rest of it, you've got to sort of sit that. So having someone on your side giving a little bit of advice in that way is really helpful so that you don't overdo it. We always do stretches. I always teach them about this is how we warm up properly. This is how we cool down. These are the stretches. If you've got to, think about your muscle groups, and that is where a coach comes in really handy.
Gotcha.
Now, something which is a bit interesting because people always say that running's a cheap sport. What kind of stuff do kids need? Do kids need the same stuff as adults in terms of having the good shoes, the smart watch and stuff like that?
No. Don't walk into my daughter's bedroom because it's like completely blows that either thing. Do they? They do need good fitted shoes. So often I have kids who come and mum and dad in January are like, we want these shoes to last all year. And they bought shoes that are 2 sizes too big and they're sloppy and they get injured. Kids' shoes generally are half the price of adult shoes. Structurally, they have a lot less cushioning, a lot less support. But they do need shoes that are light enough that they can run, like running specific shoes. They don't need the top model when they're training. Once they get up the process, if they're doing some racing, if they're doing cross country, we recommend they get some what they call waffles, or in ASICs they're called fast storms, and they're like little grass nodule sort of shoes which help them with the grip, but are really lightweight. But the danger with those is that there's not much cushioning. And the kids who get them and then they start wearing them for every session get really sore. So it's understanding the different ones. You see a lot of kids now starting to get carbon plate shoes.
Oh.
And that's a really interesting ballpark in itself, because the research is showing that they're not so great for people with like kids whose bones and structures are still developing, and they're ending up with lots of stress fractures. So in my sort of thing, I'm like, a lightweight racing shoe is great. Waffles are great. My daughter's too big to wear waffles anymore. She's inherited some of my height, but she's got ASIC's Magic Speed at the moment, which I picked at DFO. So yeah, I wasn't like going crazy town, but she had hyper speeds before that. So a lightweight racer is all they really need. Lightweight running shoe, yeah, and clothes that they can run comfortably in. There's a real surgence, particularly in girls stuff, where there's kid, teen, tween specific running gear. Some really good friends of ours have a company called Impy Sports, and Georgina, she rocks it on a daily basis. It's fun, it's colourful, and it's not expensive. And I think that that's the thing, is like for them to feel like a runner, to them to respect it, and it's the same as us. If you dress like a runner, you feel like a runner. You go, I'm going out, I'm going to the gym, I feel successful. So all of those things build together for them to go, I'm motivated. And for them to then go, I can do this. And then, confidence is king. If you believe in yourself, you can bring it.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And I think, you got to bypass a lot of the marketing, don't you, Ange, when it comes to running products, and get the right gear that's specific to that person, whether it's an adult or whether it's a child. Get the right gear that's fitted specifically for that child or that person, their running style, their feet structure, their bones,
and even down to things like nutrition.
Yeah.
For the kids, and again, from an education perspective, I'm all about them understanding and them knowing it for themselves. The best thing that they can do is something that's very simple, something like honey. Nowadays, they've got a maple syrup gel out there. Some of the things that are, really easy to think, we call them apple squishies. It's like an apple puree pouch. Things that are relatively simple, give them a quick burst of energy, but are not too synthetic. That's great.
I'll vote for a banana on that one.
I love a good banana.
Yeah. Just one last quick question before we wrap it up, Ange, and it's one without notice. What's next on your radar? I know you're still in recovery after Sydney and your injuries this year, but have you got something planned in the next 12 months or so? That's
okay. Well, so next weekend I'm traveling to Singapore and Japan, and I'm going to do parkrun number 99 in Singapore, which is my 49th different parkrun, and then parkrun number 100, which is my 50th different parkrun in Japan. So that's my first one. It's not really massive, like out of race experience, but it'll be fun. And then in November, I have something called the Hervey Bay 100, which is a mid-distance, like half Ironman sort of distance, except they have this thing called the 150 for people who are a little bit crazy. Tag me. Where you do the 50K course, which is 1K swim, 40K bike, 9K run, and then you back it up with the 100, which is a 2K swim, 80K bike, and 18K run. That sounds like fun, and I've done it a few times. I've done the Hervey Bay 100 pretty much every year since it was first started. We're involved in the running of it, and it's one of the non-negotiables on my annual list. And a couple of years ago, I said to them, what about like if you put if since they're now on different days, can I do both? And yeah, it's good fun. Their slogan is called Suffer in Paradise.
See where we get our craziness from, Lucia? We've got friends like you and her.
Don't blame us.
It's a good fun weekend away too. And it's not that far. It's little holiday trip to Hervey Bay.
There you go. And you can always do that. That's always a good place to go for a holiday. So, all right. Now, thanks very much, Angela. We're going to wrap things up there. But before we wrap things up, we always ask our guests to do a fast 7. This is a segment that Tony normally does. So I'm going to hand it over to Tony, who will explain the rules and ask the questions. Over to you, Tony.
And the rules is there are really no rules. So it's a fast question and a really fast response from yourself would be appreciated. We do 7 questions because there's 7 major marathons. But before we do 99 park runs, I've done 17, right? So
It's taken me 14 years to get there.
yeah,
I don't do them
okay.
very often. 5K is not really far enough for me to get going in the morning.
I'm pretty impressed that it's 50 different park runs. That's pretty impressive, just quietly. So, all right, let's go. 7 questions, 7 quick answers. So, podcast or music?
Podcast.
Best running advice ever given to you?
Oh gosh. Just get started.
What advice would you give to someone starting out?
Choose a big goal.
Okay.
choose
Uphill.
a challenging goal.
Uphill or downhill?
I don't like hills at all.
Free running.
I reckon uphill.
Yes.
I find downhills really hard.
Gels or blocks? Gels.
I like both. I do a mixture, but I would probably go gels.
Favorite shoes to run in?
Brooks Ghost.
What is one word you would use to describe your running journey to date?
One word. Oh, travel.
Okay.
Ooh, I don't think we've had that.
No,
Yeah.
that's something new.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I think we all do. That's awesome.
After running 20 Ks in Sydney with you, Ange, all I heard from you and Tara every time we hit a downhill was free running.
They were little downhills, like serious downhills hurt my knee.
All right.
Like on a long, like on an uphill, you just like, I think I can, and then you walk a little bit. But the long downhills, yeah.
I agree. Uphills all the way. Well done. All right. Thanks for that, Angela. Now it's that time of the week where we'd normally get a tip from me, but as I'm hosting, we're going to get Lucia to host the tip this week.
Lucia's tip, it stays in my ear. One step closer, the path grows clear. Tempted vice fades like a fleeting breeze. Lucia's wisdom puts my soul at ease.
Lucia, what's your tip of the week?
Well, my tip is if you've been in a bit of a running funk since you've done a big race, i.e. Sydney, so I'm talking about myself here, what's one thing you can do to kind of get yourself out of that running lull? So one thing you can do is plan your next year of racing if you want to ensure you have something to look forward to. A couple of reasons for that, because it gives structure to your training. You know what you're training for. It keeps your mind motivated and focused. It also helps you with the budget, because a lot of races will have early bird specials or enter by such date and at such price, which ultimately then means you've got more money to spend at the expo. It allows time for recovery as well, and it lets you choose races which are important to you. So I'm slowly working through that process now, and hopefully I'll be getting out of that funk. So it's plan your races, and will help you keep motivated.
Excellent. I agree with that, Lucia. Thank you very much for that tip. Tara and I have planned out probably 2 or 3 years in advance at the moment. So as no doubt you and Tony and Angela have as well. Just quickly on the women's marathon in Berlin, we have a winner. Rosemary Wanjiro won the race in 2 hours, 21 and 5 seconds. She beat Dira Dida from Ethiopia, who ran it in 2 hours, 21 and 8 seconds, who was 3 seconds behind her. So it would have been a sprint through the Brandenburg Gate, I would think, between those two. And in third place was another Ethiopian, Asmira Gebru, who ran in 2 hours, 21, 29. So big group of women there towards the end, and albeit a slow one. I know it's a hot day in Berlin today. I think it was about 27 degrees predicted, but 2 hours, 21 on a flat course knowing the world record is now 2 hours 09 something and change. It's a little bit slow, I would have thought, and maybe that's an indication of the heat. Maybe it's an indication of the quality of the field as well. I'm not sure, but we'll find out more in the next few days what's happened in that race. Now, this episode's about to end, but before we do that, Tara, what is on next week's episode?
Excellent. Thanks, Tim. So next week we're going to be talking all things Chicago Marathon. With this World Major Marathon only a few weeks away, we will reminisce about our memories of the event and talk everything from the expo to the finish line and everything in between. We all love the Chicago Marathon. I don't think it's a marathon that gets anywhere near as much hype as what it should. So I really think that with our input, hopefully we start boosting those numbers for people to like Chicago more. And we definitely rank it as one of the best ones. So with this in mind, please tune in, listen to next week's recollection of our memories of Chicago. We all did it on different years. We weren't there at the same year. So we've all got different memories, and it will be an episode not to be missed.
And as we keep saying, Tara, we are the only podcast with 4 7-star World Marathon Majors finishes. And as usual, we do know a thing or two about things like the Chicago Marathon, correct? So with that, thanks, Tara. That wraps it up for this week's show. As usual, guys, it's been a lot of fun, but it's been even more fun having our very special guest, Angela, on the show tonight. Angela, thank you very much for joining us, and you did really well. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ange.
Thank you. Tara, Lucia, and Tony, I wish you all the best this week, and I can't wait to catch up again later in the week when we do some pre-recording of some episodes and do it all over again. But we love making this podcast for our listeners. That'd be you that's listening to us right now. We love to hear what you're thinking. We love to get feedback all the time. If you've got a question from that you want to ask Angela as a coach of young runners and young people out there, please let us know. Send us a message via Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, or you can email us at happyrunning@flyingrunner.com. We'd really love to hear about it. You can watch this episode on Spotify and YouTube, or you can listen to it on Apple, Amazon, or wherever you're listening to this current podcast right now. Every step counts. Keep running, and we'll see you next time on The Flying Runner. Until then, happy running.
Happy running.
Happy running.